Hello, my friends. Ruben Obed here, transmitting live from Dorado, Puerto Rico. Here, and I'm bringing a subject because there are a lot of uninformed or wrongfully informed, you know, Hispanics, Latinos, and many times, it really bothers me because I'm a Trump supporter and I live in Puerto Rico, and I've been very active, doing music videos for Trump right now. The Latino Trump anthem is making a lot of noise in Miami, amongst a lot of Latinos for Trump. And I'm really proud, and I thank all the people who have helped out, to make the song go, I would say kind of viral in a way. And but basically, there's a lot of misconceptions. People think that Trump didn't help Puerto Rico. And let me tell you guys, they're all lies. They're all lies. President Trump, during Hurricane Maria, okay, during that time, when our grid went down, Trump sent a lot of aid to Puerto Rico. And I live in Dorado, which is about 20 minutes from San Juan, and I would see the military planes flying by because I live close to the airport. Hundreds of military planes coming back and forth. And in San Juan, the ports were full of trucks and containers. But the mayor of San Juan, Carmen Julene, she locked those things in the ports. She didn't allow for the food to be distributed because they wanted to make Trump look bad. They wanted to say that Trump didn't help Puerto Rico when the reality is that the help was exorbitant. All right. Now, what happens? It all turns political. They want to make Trump look bad. During that time, I was involved with Infowars, and I went out after the hurricane, and we did a report with Infowars with Mike Zimmerman from Infowars, which covered all of this, which covered the help, including, and I have to give a shout out that the people of Infowars, white people, the ones you guys want to call conspiracy theorists and racists, they flew down to my house in Puerto Rico with an ambassador of the United States, a billionaire by the name of Gary Heaven. They all came to my humble house. We sat there, drank some passion fruit juice together. They gave me money. They brought me food. They brought me food not only for me and my family, but to hand out to the neighbors as well. And I was in a very dire situation. You know what I mean? Me, a Puerto Rican, I was getting help by the white people, the guys you guys want to call racist and conspiracy theorists. But let me go back to Trump. Now, throughout the years, we've all seen that there were countless, truckloads of food and water lost that were in the middle of fields here in Puerto Rico. This was covered by David McNow. This was covered by the news. This was covered by everybody. All right, and for some reason the Democrats don't want to accept that fact. That is the proof that Trump helped Puerto Rico when all the wagons of food and storage houses. All right, there is a there was a guy here in Puerto Rico who's an independent news guy. He calls himself the León Fiscalizador, the fiscal lion. And he's the one that uncovered the warehouses full of help and full of food. So how can anybody come and say that Trump didn't help Puerto Rico? Then the proof is the warehouses. The proof is all of the food that was up. The proof is that Carmen Julene was saying we're dying, standing in a warehouse with food right in back of her. Guys, Puerto Rico got help. Puerto Rico got $92 billion of help. But over here they say that it didn't arrive. Yeah. So the president of the United States is gonna, and Congress approves $92 billion, and then you guys saying that we didn't get the help. Then now, and this was approved, Puerto Rico is getting another 13 billion with a B, billion, 13 billion to reestablish our grid. All right, we're getting that. We're getting part of that money as well is for the help of the schools. The pharmaceutical companies, Trump has brought them to Puerto Rico. Guess what? The vaccines for COVID-19, they're going to be done in Puerto Rico. But yet, people are talking about that he didn't help Puerto Rico. I mean, you got to be blind. We were sent stimulus checks just like every American. Guess what happened? The majority of Puerto Ricans, including myself and my wife, we still haven't gotten our stimulus checks. Trump sent them. But due to the laws, those stimulus checks were received by Hacienda, which is the IRS here in Puerto Rico. And guess what? Only like 200,000 people out of the 3 million plus inhabitants of Puerto Rico, I haven't got my stimulus check. And I've applied what back in August, actually before, like in July. No stimulus check for me or my wife, and the majority of the people in Puerto Rico, we haven't received it. So, Trump is constantly sending help, but then these people here, the corrupt government of Puerto Rico, they steal the money, they steal the food, they steal everything, and then they try to blame Trump. And then the best they have, they say, "Oh, Trump threw some paper towels." Guess what, guys? If you watch a video, you'll notice that everybody was all happy there. They, in the presence of President Trump, they were taking pictures. They were having a good time. Trump tossed a couple paper towels to people who were cheering him on. That's the reality of that fact. You got to watch that video. You know what I mean? And a lot of people say, they question, "Oh, why is Ruben? Why is he supporting a racist?" Trump is not racist. Do you guys forget that he's married to an immigrant? Ever heard of Melania's accent? She ain't a little California girl with blonde hair and blue eyes. No, she's an immigrant, but she's a legal immigrant. See, she came here legally, and that is what Trump is against. Trump is against illegal immigration. He isn't against Puerto Ricans. And let me acknowledge this part to all those Puerto Ricans that are saying, "Oh, that Trump is going to take away our citizenship to all the Puerto Ricans." That's not even possible. We've been Puerto Ricans. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. We have been citizens since the 1900s. American citizens. We don't have green cards. We could travel freely. So those are the lies that are being propagated here in Puerto Rico all the time. And recently, there was this other thing going around the news, and here like Telemundo and Univision, all these libtard news, talking about that Trump said that Puerto Rico stinks and that the people stink. Trump never said that, but yet they post that stuff out as if it were true. Then people wonder why Ruben Obed supports Trump. I have to support Trump because I see the truth. The truth is that the help is here. $92 billion came in. That's why we have power. Had it not been for Trump, we'd still be without power in Puerto Rico. That's the reality, guys. You know what I'm saying? And then another 13 billion is coming in, to restructure our grid. How dare we say that Trump hasn't helped Puerto Rico? Seriously, you have to be brain dead. I live in Puerto Rico. I am in Puerto Rico right now. You see what I'm saying? In fact, look, open the window. Look outside. Look, this is Puerto Rico. I live in Puerto Rico. You see? Look, I live in Puerto Rico. Look at the palm tree, all right? So how can anybody come and argue with me about Trump's help to Puerto Rico when I am here? I live here, and I've told people in the comments, I live here, you don't. Don't listen to Telemundo. Listen to the person who was actually here that was knee deep. I was an entire year without power here in Puerto Rico. I lived it. There's no question. This isn't an interpretation. This isn't an opinion. This is a fact coming from somebody. First-hand eyewitness account. I lived here, during Hurricane. I'm still here, And it just bothers me so much that people go around, trying to make President Trump look bad. You know what I mean? And right now, President Trump, he came up positive for COVID. My prayers go out to President Trump and to Melania and to all of the people infected, with this disease. And I pray for a full recovery and for him to be doing well. But come on, man. If you have hatred for Trump, that's, you got to look at the facts. The fact is that before COVID-19 came out, the unemployment amongst Latinos and blacks was at the lowest unemployment rate ever in history. A booming economy. That's a fact. And then Obama, look at the hypocritical Obama. When Trump got into office, I remember Obama saying, "Oh, how's he going to bring jobs? What's he going to do? Does he have a magic wand?" And then apparently Trump did have a magic wand, and he brought the jobs. And then Obama trying to get credit. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, telling you, hold on, guys. I want to address your comments. It's just okay. I'm sorry. I see them now. Okay, we have here. Um, One acro year one. I don't know if it's a he or she. Sorry. It says, I wonder if now. Hold on. Yeah, why can't I say? I wonder if now that he wants to bring medical manufacturing back to the U.S., if pharma companies will go back to Puerto Rico. Okay. I mentioned that earlier. The pharmaceutical companies are actually a lot of the big ones are coming back because the whole plan is that the vaccine is going to be made in Puerto Rico. That's part of the reason why there's a big investment too in our grid, to give us that stability. But yeah, those pharmaceutical companies are coming over here. So it's most likely when if y'all get a vaccine for COVID, it's coming from Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? That's gonna bring jobs to the island. It's gonna bring taxes. It's gonna help. See, Trump has been bringing help to Puerto Rico on so many levels. You know what I'm saying? But people want to continue talking bad about the mouth that feeds them. And I always call out the hypocrisy, and I always say, to these people, you guys are out here, you took bad mouthing Trump, but y'all living on food stamps, which comes from the federal government, which is Trump. You know what I mean? Recently, even the food stamp program here got a big boost. You know, and after Hurricane Maria for like 2 years, the Puerto Rico food stamp program, which is actually a lot less than SNAP, we're getting double the amount for almost 2 years. They don't mention that. They don't mention that. See, because here in Puerto Rico, like a single person, when I say double, if a single person got $130, they were getting 200 and something for like 2 years. You know, after Hurricane Maria. All of those help that goes unnoticed, and the news doesn't cover this. You know, so don't tell me that President Trump isn't helping Puerto Rico, man. He has gone above and beyond. Okay, we have the resident commissioner here in Puerto Rico. Her name is Jennifer Gonzalez. And even her, as well as the previous governor, which was Ricky Rosselló, the one that got ousted, but they both coincided even in the news and said everything that Puerto Rico has asked for, Trump has given. That came straight from the Puerto Rican government. All right. So, how dare any Latinos living in the States, how dare you say Trump hasn't helped Puerto Rico? Seriously, you know, come on. I mean, either you're brain dead or you're just, filled with hatred, you know, but that's the reality. I saw the debate, guys. Chris Wallace clearly he was harassing Trump. No respect. And Biden, how dare you tell the president of the United States to shut up and call him a clown to his face? If you don't respect him, at least respect the office. No, but they don't. These Democrats don't respect anybody, and they're void of seeing the truth. The truth is that a lot of money has come into Puerto Rico via Trump. The truth is that a lot, just like the stimulus checks, Puerto Rico government, they pocket it, they take the money, but it isn't that Trump didn't send it. It isn't Trump's fault that the Puerto Rico government is corrupt and that they're inefficient and they're inept. Then they want to blame it on Trump. Come on, guys. I'm just a regular Joe. I'm not a political pundit. I'm just a musician. I'm a singer. I support President Trump. I produce music. That's what I. But I'm a regular Joe. And Trump has helped Puerto Rico so much that it's an indignation for me to hear any Latino saying that Trump didn't help Puerto Rico. I mean, really, it hurts me to hear this. You know, Okay, one acro year says the thing I noticed about the debate was that they introduced Biden as the vice president and they introduced Trump as the presidential nominee. Did you catch that? Yeah, I noticed. I noticed that they have no respect for our president. They have no respect. They're evil. It's evil. You know what I mean? And it's just, and then a lot of people were like questioning the fact that Trump interrupted a lot. Yes, he did, because had he not interrupted, then Biden and Wallace would have always had the last word in what they said. So Trump, and the thing is, I argue a lot online about political stuff. So I know when I'm being tag teamed by two or three people, oh, I don't stay quiet. I just start firing and firing, because I know that's three against one. So when I saw Trump battling against Wallace and Biden, I said, man, they're putting him in the same thing situation. So I applaud Trump for not staying quiet, because he had to say, he has to respond. They clearly, and Trump said, I had to respond to this. How many times did he say that? They didn't want him to respond. They want him to shut up, just like Biden said. MW Han says, it's so easy to point the finger at the president, but why don't they point the finger at Barack Hussein when H1N1 spread? It's so sad that these double standards in this day and age. Let me tell you something, guys. All right, I'm going to say something. Is COVID-19 my fault? I'm a Puerto Rican living in Puerto Rico. Is COVID-19 my fault? No, it's not. Because I'm just a human being here eating rice and beans. You know what I mean? I can't create COVID-19. I'm not a scientist. I don't have a lab. Trump is not a scientist. He doesn't have a lab. He didn't create this thing. So why do you blame somebody? That would be blaming Trump for COVID-19 would be like blaming me for COVID-19. It's preposterous. But then the libtards make it sound like it's something rational. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame Trump. You can't blame Trump for the existence of a disease that came out of nowhere. Well, what are we gonna do then? know, Okay, so going by that, then should we judge? Should we blame Jesus for leprosy? You know what I mean? What? All right. Sorry about that. Every time I go online, be it Facebook or YouTube, they start messing with my life feeds when I talk about Trump and I'm spitting truth. So I apologize, guys, but they have it out for me right now. Live Facebook, they have Facebook Live. They have me banned. I can't even do Facebook Lives on my Facebook page. They got me blocked. How convenient, right? Just right now that my Latino Trump anthem is making noise, with the Latino community, you know. But like I said, guys, don't believe the hype. When people say that Trump didn't help Puerto Rico, that's a lie. Trump has gone above and beyond helping Puerto Rico. And if there are blue tarps and if there is still need in Puerto Rico, it's because of our corrupt government here in Puerto Rico, not because Trump hasn't sent the help. You know, the corruption here in Puerto Rico is exorbitant. Right now, we have a really, and this is not even making headline news. Here in Puerto Rico, we have the human trafficking is like insane, crazy. There's hundreds of people disappearing, guys, here in Puerto Rico. Being murdered, but there's and it's like a sudden thing. Things are looking bad, at least in Puerto Rico in terms of that kind of crime. But in terms of the monetary help sent to Puerto Rico, yes, there is a lot of human trafficking out here now, big time, really bad. And if y'all want to see it, even though it's in Spanish on Facebook, there's a page called En Caliente, then there's space CALIENTE, and that'll give you an idea, and it'll show you all of the people who have gone up missing here in Puerto Rico. I mean, every day I'm seeing young men, young women disappearing. That's going on in Puerto Rico, and it's just being ignored by the mainstream media. You know, so all right, guys. God bless you all. Don't believe the hype. If you have any doubts about Trump and Puerto Rico and Trump dealing with Latinos, you have any doubt, listen to both sides of the spectrum. Don't just listen to the left. Don't just listen to Univision and Telemundo. Listen to Fox News. Listen to Tucker Carlson. Listen to people like Ben Shapiro, like Candace Owen, like myself. We ain't gonna lie. I have no why do I need to lie to you guys? Why? You know, Anyways, take care, guys. God bless, and thank you for logging on. And to those who like, like my channel, want to make a contribution, you can do so at the pay on the PayPal link in the description. And that's it, man. So MW Han says, God bless you too, brother. Keep up the good work, and don't let the Facebook police get to you. Just use YouTube to spread the message. You can't pick a side if you. I'm sorry. I don't know. I could. Okay, you can't pick a side if you only hear one of them. Exactly. So take care, guys. God bless Ruben Obed, and check out Latino Trump Anthem on YouTube as well as all my other Trump songs and music videos. Take care, guys. Peace.